In real estate transactions, the seller's promise to convey the property and the buyer's promise to pay for the property are typically mutually dependent on one another. But what if the seller breaches his promise and the buyer doesn't prove that he was ready, willing, and able to complete the purchase? May that buyer still obtain specific performance, that is, a court order requiring the seller to convey the property based on the terms of the contract? In DiGiuseppe v. Lawler, the Texas Supreme Court considered this question of specific performance. In October of 1998, Nick DiGiuseppe contracted with Richard Lawler to purchase roughly 756 acres of Lawler's land near Frisco, Texas. The purchase was conditioned upon DiGiuseppe's ability to obtain the city of Frisco's approval for rezoning. Closing was to occur 15 days after completion of rezoning. Under the contract, DiGiuseppe was required to make 3 earnest money deposits. First, a $100,000 deposit upon signing the contract. Second, a $100,000 deposit upon submission of the rezoning application. And third, a $400,000 deposit when rezoning was approved. DiGiuseppe made his first 2 deposits. Then on January 4, 2000, DiGiuseppe's application for rezoning was approved. The approved zoning, although acceptable, was different from what he had applied for. Following the approval, DiGiuseppe didn't make the 3rd deposit. 8 days later, Lawler notified DiGiuseppe that he was in default for failing to make the 3rd deposit and declared the contract canceled. DiGiuseppe disagreed, believing that he didn't need to make the 3rd deposit because the zoning wasn't approved as applied for. Subsequently, Lawler sued DiGiuseppe in state district court for a declaratory judgment that the contract was terminated and for damages. DiGiuseppe counterclaimed for breach of contract and specific performance. Following trial, the jury found for DiGiuseppe, and the court granted him specific performance. Lawler appealed to the Court of Appeals, which reversed, concluding that DiGiuseppe failed to prove he was ready, willing, and able to perform under the contract. DiGiuseppe then filed a petition for review, which the Texas Supreme Court granted.